Hello, welcome along to another repair video. Yes, look, a TV to be repaired. At the same time, it's a bit of help needed and it's a moan. Bit of help needed because we've got to get a message out to our local councils, wherever you're watching this. I mean, I'm in Cornwall, and I'm hoping this video is going to reach Cornwall County Council about the recycling, because this TV was at the recycling dump. I'd been to take some stuff down there, and this was just standing there, and I said, "Oh, may I have this, please?" To which they said no. I said, "Oh, why?" And I always love asking why, because I've asked for TVs before and you just don't get them. I know why I don't get them, and I'll explain to you in a second. But first of all, he said, because there are cameras here. I thought, well, it's not a shop, you know, it's not for sale. And then he said, also, we need them for the LED in the TV. And I'm thinking he's getting really confused because there's no LED in. Well, there's a minuscule about a LED inside a TV. I think when he says LED, he's heard the abbreviation LEDs in TV before. LEDs standing for light emitting diodes. In other words, the LEDs that backlight the TV. Anyway, you can see this TV. It's a nice one. This was just about to be, well, broken up, smashed up, crushed up, or taken away. And I can't speak for your environmental recycling centre. Maybe you can. But all the TVs, as soon as they get taken to a recycling place, they get whipped around the back in a special office and they disappear. And I'm going to just switch some lights off here, as you've seen, and we're just going to test the fault on this TV. The reason the TVs, incidentally, do get whipped around the back is quite simply because there's a man that comes and collects them. So I've just plugged this TV in. You can possibly see it's trying to come on. There's a little flicker, there's a little flash, but it's not going to come on. So it's a faulty TV, and that's why it was taken to the recycling place. Now, I know at my recycling place, us, because there's about 3 or 4, and you can see this TV has gone into a 1-blink code, which tells us engineer chaps that there is a backlight or an edge-lit issue with this TV. This is a nice slimline edge-lit TV. And there's a gentleman that travels all the way from London in a big blue van. He keeps persistently asking me, and he's turned up a couple of times at my house, asking for my scrap TVs. And I always tell him that no, I keep them for spares. And then he goes to recycling centre and he gets them from there. And I think a little bit of money changes hands, a little bit. Once again, I'm just pointing out here the fault with the TV. So anyway, I asked for this TV and they said no, and I said why, and they gave me a couple of excuses. Luckily for me, just as I was losing my temper with these false excuses and these guys that take them away and make a bit of money for themselves, the guy who had taken the TV in the first place was still there, and I said, "Oh, is this TV yours?" And he said, "Yeah." And technically it is. Not until he's handed it over and the recycling people have taken it away to the office does it belong to them. I said, "May I have it?" And he said, "Yes, of course." He said, "It's faulty." I said, "That's okay. Just want to play with it." So that's the story how I got this TV. But you know what? There are dozens and dozens of TVs like this that get dropped at the recycling centre every day, and they won't let me have them. Let's repair this one. I take all the screws out from around the edge, taking off the stand at the moment, and then I can position the TV a little bit better on the workbench here. Tell you how much it costs to repair this TV, and you may be shocked. We've taken the stand off. Let's take all the screws from around the edge here off and out. The bezel surrounds here, and the speakers, of course. And then these metal bits which protect the T-con board, which sends a signal to the screen, and also the bits that are protecting the screen too. And then here we have all the screws that are holding the screen in place before we can turn the TV upside down and remove the screws, or remove the screen I should say. Got to get these screws out first. And then once the screws are out, which they now are, just turn the TV around and flip it over. And we start the process, and this is a delicate process, have to be careful here, of removing the screen. So first the bezel has to come out. With all the screws out, it should just lift off. And then here comes the sensitive bit, just getting your fingers underneath the screen and lifting it up and lift it out. You have to be very careful here. This screen is very fragile. Make sure you have a place to put it before you lift it. And I just stand mine up in front of me. But go slow on that if you're going to do one of these, because you break the screen and it's the end of it. Once we've done that, it's time to remove the diffusers here. Again, try not to get grubby prints all over them, especially on the glass piece at the bottom, which we're going to take out next. If you get your fingerprints on these, like I'm doing here, and don't clean them afterwards, those fingerprints will stay on screen once you've repaired it, so do bear that in mind. You could also wear gloves, but I find gloves doesn't give you the grip, especially for the delicate bits, and you only have to drop something once, and it's game over. And this is what we're going to be looking at here. These are the strips that I'm pointing out. It's just one edgelet down that side. We've got to take that out, put the new bit in. And just to make sure we've got the right part in stock, let's just line them up to make sure that the new set that we're going to stick in fits in okay. And that's looking fine to me. Some of the LEDs may look slightly different, but the connections are correct. And the new set is now in. Had to use some double-sided tape. That's all you need to stick it down, and then we're ready to reassemble. And there she is, all back together again. I'm just going to stick the back on, and then we're ready for a test. Let's see if this TV is now working. So I'm just going to push the TV back here for a bit so I can fit the stand on. Now, obviously this video we've edited it down and make it look like we've repaired it in under 10 minutes. But it doesn't take that long. It's about 45 minutes in total to disassemble and reassemble if you know what you're doing. But we don't know if we've fixed it yet. We'll find out in a second. I'll just stand it up. So my main reason for making this video very snappy and not the usual stuff that I do on YouTube is just to try to get a message out to Cornwall Council that you've got so many of these TVs that can be repaired, that can go to people that really need them. Let me tell you how much it cost to fix this TV. The part was just £6. £6. So I got this TV free of charge. If I sell it for £20 to a one-parent family, or someone that just desperately needs a TV, it goes to a good home, rather than somebody coming to fetch it, stick it in a van, and ending up out of the country. A lot of these TVs in your recycle centre just disappear out of the UK. So let's try it then, after having a little argument or two with the guys at the recycling centre who weren't going to let me have this TV. For all kind of reasons, we've put in a part that's cost £6, and it's a nice little smart TV. It's a full HD TV, and it's still got plenty of life. Well, now we've put some brand new parts in it. Of course, the parts that we put in are brand new. It has got plenty of life left in it. It's going to be a really nice TV for somebody, and it's going to be cheap. Surely this is better than breaking it, taking the parts out, which what happens sometimes, but as I mentioned before, these TVs get taken away in a lorry. Where they end up, nobody really knows. I've heard they go to Africa, and they go to certain countries that can make use of them, so it is still technically recycling, but these are places, recycling places, that are on my doorstep. They're 5 minutes away. They get a dozen of these every day that I could use, that I could get parts for to help other TVs from Cornwall live again. Or heaven forbid that I make a few quid out of it at the same time. If somebody's taken them to recycling centre, they don't want them anymore, then they should be open up to anybody that wants them in the area. But trying to get them is trying to get gold dust. So please, Cornwall Council, just allow some of us TV engineers to come and have a look at some of the TVs you've got, because we can get them working again very quickly. We can make some money, and we can get them to customers who need them, who can't afford to spend £300, £400, £500, £600 on a brand new set. As I said, I've made a profit if I charge somebody £20 for this. So please, if you know someone that works for the council, share the video. Thanks for watching.